This is session number 3 of Growth Hacks. In this session, we'll be covering the power of continuity, the premium offer, and something you probably never considered doing, but probably should. Okay, so let's get rocking and rolling with this thing and talk about continuity as a growth strategy. You often have said, I've heard you say this many times, if you had to do it all over again, all right, and when you were selling magnetic marketing from the stage, if you knew about continuity, well, you would not be sitting here right now.
Yeah, look, if I've been doing forced continuity from the beginning of that product in all or nearly all sales venues, speaking, Nightingale Conant catalog, Sky Mall, all
Everything,
of it.
yeah.
All of it. A conservative estimate, I sat down and calculated it once. There's between $50 and $60 million left on the table. And yeah, the voicemail message you hear would be, don't bother leaving a message. He's gone permanently, forever, never to again check one. Sayonara. I don't like to think about it a lot.
No, you actually are a little uncomfortable right here.
But yeah, and look, not every business lends itself either to continuity or to forced continuity, but many have that opportunity more than attempted experiment with it or implement with it. And you should at least think it through. And there are a lot of businesses, of course, that can't work without it. I mean, if you look at, because one of the things it gives you, look, it tends to greatly extend the active life of a customer. Right? It provides a better platform for an ascension sale of any kind while you have them. Right? And in many cases, it allows enormous price elasticity because it changes the whole dynamic of what they're buying. So if you look at my client Guthrie Renker's proactive business, proactive could not exist were it not for forced continuity. And if you go to Walmart today and you go into the pharmacy section, you will find at least 4 shelves, twice the width of the table in front of us, and as high as you and I are, of Acti-Glop that you can buy for $4, $5, $6, $7, $9, and proactive is $39. And that's possible because of the sales process, but it's also possible because of continuity.
Right. Now, Dan, tell the story, because continuity, at least in the information marketing business, or forced continuity, was really born out of one of your platinum groups. Describe that, because it's a pretty cool story.
It existed before us.
Right.
It has a long set of roots to Book of the Month Club, which was what's called negative option continuity. And then all the clubs after that, Book of the Month, Record of the Month,
I remember,
then 8-track of the Month,
10
then
cents
CD of the Month. Yeah, it's all based on negative option, Reader's Digest, condensed books. A negative option meaning every month you got shipped the next thing and with an invoice, and you either paid it or returned the thing, right? So that has long roots. The version of forced continuity you've seen in modern info marketing most, that has been copied from Glaser Kennedy, modeled after Glaser Kennedy, came out of a conversation in what is now for me titanium, that was then platinum, mastermind group of information marketers. And it was a response to a high level of frustration with making a product sale and then pursuing that buyer to sequentially join a subscription or membership. And under the best of circumstances, those conversions were in the 20 to 30% range, and there was a significant cost to get them. And one of the members, his name's Reed Hoisington, who at the time was a marketer to mortgage brokers, a species the current administration is, and the financial crisis combined, is sort of eliminated. So he said, I've just had it. You know, it's just, so I'm just going to force everybody into the subscription when they buy my kit, and let them fight their way out, which is what forced continuity is. It says you buy this and you automatically receive X number of months for free of this, and then we start charging you, or you automatically receive and we start charging you so much a month, and you can opt out at any time that you want. That's what forced continuity is. And by the way, there's a lot of current misunderstanding about it, at least in our industry.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's illegal.
Everybody thinks it's illegal, and that's absolutely not the case.
Right.
In our industry and in consumer goods industries like Proactive, for example, it certainly is illegal, and it just requires full disclosure. That's all. So Reed said, I'm just going to force them all to join. And the immediate reaction, mine included, was that it probably will suppress the initial sale, right? Because you're now complicating and confusing the initial sale, and you're asking for marriage when before all I'm asking for is a date, right? And therefore, it will also cause a lot of customer service issues on the backside with the buyers, because they will be confused.
Right.
No matter what you do about it, they're going to be confused when that first credit card strike hits.
Right.
So that pretty much was everybody's.
Yeah, everyone thought it was nuts, right?
And of course, Reed said, I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
He wasn't really asking for advice. He was telling us that he had it with these badly behaving customers.
Right.
And so he went and did it. And he came back to the next meeting with numbers that were all positive. They contradicted the two fears.
Right.
They suppressed sales a little, but barely. And the customer service issues were there, but not significant. Because it was Reed, nobody was really sure. Nobody was really sure they wanted to trust his numbers. But a couple others went and played the game. And it quickly became apparent that this was almost universally the winning formula. You flipped the equation. Instead of now selling the box and trying to convince people to opt in and getting, let's say, 30% of them to do so. By forcing them, you started with 100% of them doing so,
right.
And you actually lose about 70% and get back to the same 30%, but you do it over a period of time during which they're paying.
Right.
So the math is very different. If you look at consumer box businesses right now, which are sort of an e-commerce fad, there's one advertising on TV right now. They got a crap load of venture capital from somebody. I don't know, they got $200 million or something. So it'll be 3 years before they run out of money, not making any. And they're advertising a healthy snack box.
Okay.
You get the box every month, and we've picked 6 different cool things, and I haven't called, so they may be doing it on a phone. But in the spot, they are free. Get the box. If you like it, then you sign up. Bad model. Should be get the box, and you automatically get a box unless you don't want a box. Right? Because it flips the equation. So that's forced continuity. The opt-in continuity is the old way, and in some businesses that's all you can do, or that's all you want to do. But you definitely want to think about, can I do one or the other?
Yeah. So talk a little bit about because you mentioned there's some businesses it won't work for. Necessarily, but are there any businesses that you know of that you would think off the top of your head, well, forced continuity or just continuity in general, not going to work?
Well, again, our member Scott Mueller's funeral parlor business, tough.
Yeah.
Right. Although, what burial insurance is kind of the premiums are death on continuity. Right. That's what it is. One and done businesses that are true one and done businesses, right? Don't lend itself to it. Real high transaction value businesses, it's not that you can't do it, but it may not necessarily be worth it. Right. You may actually be better served, let's go get the next one. Right. Right. Although sometimes that can be done where you're the portal, and at least you're getting backwards commissions
Sure.
for handing them off to somebody else who has them on continuity for services.
Okay.
But setting those relatively rare exceptions aside, so it's commonplace on a national level in the food business. So there's wine of the month, there's fruit of the month, there's cheese of the month.
I have olive oil of the
snack
month.
box of the month. You're getting olive oil.
Olive oil of the month club, yeah.
So if that can be done nationally, why couldn't you do? If you're the local cupcake store, why can't you be signing up for people for the cupcake thing of the month, right?
Sure.
So in food, it's definitely there. We had a GKIC member who, for various reasons, is no longer in the business, but who built a big continuity business in a local pizza parlor and had hundreds of customers getting their credit card charged on the first day of every month for a package of what they were going to get during that month. And look, that changes the dynamic of that business, dramatically.
Yeah.
Bill Glazer tested late in when he still had his retail menswear stores and was also Glazer Kennedy. Bill tested it more to be the lab rat than out of any serious interest in continuing it, but he tested a membership with monthly continuity in the clothing store. And essentially, like in timeshare, you really you were buying points. Is really what you're doing, and accumulating points and then spending them. And I seem to remember, but I want to say pretty easily he signed up a few hundred members.
Wow.
At a significant price point each month. So most of the time when you don't see it done, it's mostly just because nobody's sat down for their business and figured it out and actually done it.
Yeah, and actually in the toolkit, there's a continuity brainstorming action planner that'll not only help your creative process, but also guide you to creating and implementing a continuity plan in your business. So it really leads you step through step. Okay, so Dan, let's talk about the next growth hack, which is premium offers. Premium offers. So many people, we got the premium offer, and then the one that most people don't think about, though, is a drop-down offer. What exactly is a drop-down offer?
Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about the drop-down offer, because we kind of went over premium, the slack adjuster, and all of that.
All right.
But most people don't think about, hey, you kind of mentioned it with another one, because a lot of these tie in together.
Well, so a drop-down offer obviously is you're going to somehow drop price, right?
Right.
And there's three methods. You drop directly by price.
Okay.
For some reason, we told you this was $100 and you can now have it for $75.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing here.
For some
right?
reason.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. You drop it by terms. Okay. So you really don't change the price, but you change the way people pay. Or you drop it by an alternate offer that accomplishes the same thing, but is much lower priced.
Okay.
So like our Iron Tribe
Yep.
fitness guys are finally experimenting with, and I haven't talked to them lately to see the outcome, but they're experimenting with an at-home fitness kit. So, okay, if you absolutely will not pay our outrageous price in order to be one of 300 who comes and gets the crap beat out of you 3 times a week in this gym, right? If you're just absolutely not going to do it, the next best thing is this at-home kit for X dollars, right? So those are the 3 methods. The bad news about it is the chief reason to have it is that you are processing a lot of people who don't really have the ability to buy at the level you wanted them to buy to start with. Okay? So the need for it often telegraphs a weakness in your marketing and customer selection and so forth in the first place, and you have to be sensitive to that. But having said that, in many businesses, it makes sense, and in many businesses, it can make a significant impact on profit because it monetizes people who would be zero otherwise.
Okay.
And if you're capable, if you're careful to make sure that's what you're doing, you are monetizing only what was about to be a zero.
Okay.
Right? So for 9 years.
That's great advice, by the way. It's huge.
Yeah. So for 9 years, I had a client with an infomercial on TV selling the go by the inch money-making opportunity, home-based business. And that price point was $399 to $899, for which essentially at $399 you got $399 worth of inventory, gold chain that you could go sell for. So our drop-down offer was $99 and then all the way down to $39. And at $99 you got enough stuff that turned into $399, so you could come back and buy the $399 whole business package, which turned into $3,999. Right? The $39 actually was just enough stuff to sell to get $99 to come back and buy the $99 thing, which would turn into $399, which would now put you in the business. Right?
Okay.
Now we were very careful to only do those by mail, so we never let the humans allowed to do them.
Okay.
Right? At the very end, we had humans doing them, but different humans then made the main sale.
Okay.
Right?
Because they would naturally, would
Oh,
they? Yeah, that's an easier sale, right? Yeah.
So it kept us on the air longer. It monetized things that were about to turn to zero.
Okay.
Right? So that's a pure price drop.
Okay.
Right? If you look at, say, rent to own or lease purchase, so anybody that's listening who's a independent real estate investor, right? If they're buying to hold, not buying to flip, one of the things they're doing is lease purchase. Right? Well, that's a way to drop down the price.
Okay.
Okay? It's why the car business has become so much about leasing, is it takes away the 20% down. Okay? In the proactive business, Guthrie Wenker now has Proactive is a 3-step system, 3 bottles of glop. You use them all twice a day. They now have a 1-step, 1-tube foam stuff that is a lot less expensive and gets results.
Okay.
Doesn't get as good a results as using the system.
Okay.
But it gets results.
Okay.
Okay? And it's a lot less money. Now, the trick for them is not making the mistake I just described and letting it take people away who would give
you the full amount,
exactly
right? Yeah,
That's
right.
exactly right.
Okay. So, are there any specific formulas? I mean, as far as, how you do it, how you justify it?
Any justification's okay.
Yes, my birthday. It's,
yeah. So it can be that stuff.
Right.
Right. It can be, in more complex sales environments, it can be a lot of truth telling. It is the only sane reason you aren't doing X is because of the price. And in truth, not the price. Your ability at this moment in time, at this point in your life, to pay the price. For that reason, we have created this alternative path.
Okay.
That requires a lot less.
Okay, got it. Now, in the toolkit, we list some of these different formulas for drop-down offers, just like Dan described right now. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little contest here. So based on what you've learned so far as premium offers go, as far as drop-down offers go, what I want you to do is I want you to create a drop-down offer or a premium offer, a Slack adjuster offer, and enter it into the chat box, okay? We'll then randomly, actually we haven't really talked about premium offers yet, but we're gonna do it anyway. Premium offer, then select one, and we're gonna select one person, and that one person, this is gonna be a random draw, by the way. We're not gonna select the best one.
Oh, it's not on merit.
And it's not on merit.
It's random draw.
It's a random draw.
So in other words, you can have a really crappy idea, but as long as you put it forth.
As long as you put it forth, you are in the game. And the prize, oh my goodness. The prize, ladies and gentlemen.
Rare.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we, right there, you get a brand new, in the package, Dan Kennedy bobblehead, absolutely free. You don't even have to buy, you don't even have to get the growth hacks.
They really were, by the way, a limited edition. We did only make so many of them.
Somehow,
they are in.
Somehow we found them. They were a very limited supply. Yeah. So put down your drop-down offer, a premium offer in there. And also when you do it,
Win today, be on eBay tomorrow.
So now you totally threw me off there with the eBay thing there. So Leroy will be buying that, or Leon, who was it?
Leon.
Leon. So, okay, so enter that in there and you'll have the opportunity to win. But when you do, please put your name as well as where you're from. Also, if you've got questions, we're going to be taking your questions coming up very, very soon. So please enter those in as well. Please give us your name and where you're coming from. All we see is your question. Okay, so Dan, with the drop-down offer, other than well, maybe I'm doing it too early. Are there any other pitfalls that someone needs to watch out for?
Well, I mean, you want to watch out for the human factor.
Okay.
So if you have humans interacting with prospects and customers, you have to be very careful of who you let use it, when they use it, how it is used.
Okay.
Because its goal is to monetize what would otherwise be a zero.
Right.
Not to trade down, revenue from one place to the other.
Okay.
Right. The second pitfall is exposure to people who shouldn't see it.
Right.
Okay.
Which I think is what a lot of people fear with this strategy.
Well, they should fear it.
Okay.
Okay. So in most cases, it cannot be done online. Because your ability to control. So in almost every case, it's being done by phone with a human, or it's being done by direct mail.
Okay.
And so you got to think about exposure to people who should not see it. And the last pitfall is if you overuse it, you stock your pond with diseased fish.
Okay.
Okay, so if you overuse it, you wind up with a bunch of people who don't have the ability to buy anything else you do at proper price either, and who wants that?
Right. So I think one of the things that you said very quickly, but it's important, is the looping back around.
Oh,
so talk a little bit about that.
So its ideal architecture is, and again, it's not all businesses lend themselves to this, but its ideal architecture is that it is designed to either create a positive experience that can then be leveraged back into, now you see, we're not lying to you.
Right.
What we say works.
Right.
So now you should get the full thing we wanted you to get in the first place.
Right.
Or it can be looped back around monetarily.
Right.
And if it can't be done by earning, meaning go by the description I went through, it can always be done by credit.
Okay.
So it is, okay, now you bought the $9 proactive foam, and you see it helps. You really should have the whole system. And if you do that now, we'll give you full credit for the $9 you spent for the thing against the 39, right? So you can rebate the money.
Fantastic.
You can credit the money.
Fantastic. Okay, so now let's go in the other direction. Okay, I went in the wrong order. We're going to go back, go to the other direction, which is the premium offer. Okay, the premium offer.
So my clarification: premium offer or raising prices?
Premium offer.
Premium offer.
Premium offer. Premium offer.
You got my C. You have well, no, you have pages too. So
I have pages.
Okay.
I have pages. I just went in the wrong way.
Exchange
So
pages.
how is the premium offer different than the slack adjuster?
So the premium offer is more engineered in.
Okay.
And it is usually alternative choice or tiered.
Okay.
Okay. So it is happening as part of the sale.
Right.
So it is, when you register for your hotel room, would you like to be on the concierge floor? And you get this, that, and that. Or you can have regular room, deluxe room, suite, concierge floor, right? There's a tier of options, right? And the ultimate premium, of course, in most hotels is the presidential suite on the concierge floor with a butler and a car, right? So it's engineered into the sale. It isn't happening after a sale or periodically. It's sprung out of a box.
Got it.
It's engineered in. And so Disney's as price tiered as anybody on earth. If you want to see price tiering, just pay attention to Disney. They're price tiered in the resorts, they're price tiered in park admissions, they're price tiered everywhere.
Sure. So it's interesting, as we've been going through these growth hacks, how many of these actually tie together and work beautifully together. So, for example, another restaurant, since we've been talking about restaurants, a couple of weeks ago I went to my favorite restaurant on the planet, which is Alinea in Chicago, which is supposed to be the best restaurant in North America. And you buy a ticket to go to this restaurant. So you don't make a reservation, you buy a ticket, and the ticket's like $245 a person. And you can't cancel the ticket. But then when you get there, what they do is they upsell you a beverage package. And so they say, well, would you like a wine pairing with this? And of course, if you're going to have 14 courses or whatever it is, 18 courses, you want the wine pairing. You've already spent the money on the ticket because you got to get the ticket 2 months in advance, right? So there's the first upsell, right? And then they say, okay, if you say yes to that one, and by the way, they don't do it salesy, which is a question we got, which I want to get to. They say, well, we have a premium wine, which actually the premium wine pairing is actually more than the actual dinner.
Now,
all
see,
right?
they're actually sort of halfway between
Right, yeah.
premium price
And
tiers
upselling.
and upsell.
Yeah.
They've sort of hybrid,
Right,
you know, the two.
right,
Right?
right.
But it's good that they're not afraid of it.
No, they're not afraid of it, and you don't feel like you're being sold, which was one of the questions we got from the last segment. It doesn't matter what the person's name is right now, but they said, well, I feel I don't like to do that, and I don't like to be upsold. How would you address that issue?
Well, so first of all, let's separate them.
Right, okay.
Okay. So if you run a business, your number one responsibility is maximizing earnings for your shareholders. Okay? And if you do not honor that responsibility, you should be fired. Okay? So what you like is utterly irrelevant.
Which really goes to all of these.
Okay? It's utterly irrelevant. All right? The current president, Zuckerberg, says he doesn't like Facebook and doesn't want to use it. Okay? And he doesn't have to. But to run Facebook successfully and maximize earnings for his shareholders. I think I read somewhere that Bob Iger hates going on rides. Right? Well, who cares?
Right.
Right? It doesn't matter. Right? If he doesn't like superheroes, it doesn't matter.
Right.
His job is to maximize earnings for shareholders.
Right.
Okay? So your reaction to X, whatever it is,
Any of these.
is completely irrelevant.
Right.
Right? It's your prospects, customers, and clients' reactions that matter. All right? The second thing, if we separate them, then is just, and I have it in my notes under price, it's just queasiness and squeamishness,
Right.
It's all about your emotional relationship with money. It's all about your sense of selling and sales process. You know, it's not about marketplace realities.
Yeah.
And so almost always somebody who is having that stuff going on, if we could tag their customers, clients, or patients and follow them around for a week, we would find those same customers, clients, and patients buying in very salesy, very sales pushy
Right.
environments.
Right.
And so getting out of your own way is a big issue in advertising, in marketing, in selling. And when you can't get out of your own way, you really do yourself a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of stuff I do that I did not like.
Right.
And there's a bunch of stuff I still do, I still don't like.
Right. But they work. But it works.
But they work.
Right.
And they're not so onerous that it's like,
Right.
you know, a sacrifice of lifestyle.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's more technique.
Right. You know, we're talking about premium. We got off the subject there, but I think that was a great point you just made. Sometimes a premium offer is necessary to meet the goal, or you're not going to meet it unless you have the premium offer.
So first of all, again, not having it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because you leave money behind.
Right.
People were absolutely willing to give you, eager to give you. Somewhere between 5 and 20% always say yes to the premium tier if it makes any sense at all.
Right.
Any sense at all. So the only reason not to do it is you can't figure one out,
Right.
or you don't have capacity. Okay? So like Disney can't as aggressively sell as I'm sure you they would like the private guide experience at the parks because they don't have enough guides trained up.
Right.
So they actually have to restrain their sales activity.
Right.
All right. So, if you don't have enough capacity, you don't have enough capacity. And their reaction so far has been, since we have limited capacity, we just keep raising the price on the thing, right? Which is the correct, response. At the same time, it's trying to fix the capacity, right? And now they've wound up with tiered versions of the private guide.
Right.
Okay? So that's a premium in and of itself, but then there's a premium and a premium.
Premium, right.
Yeah,
right.
it's kind of like the wine thing you just described.
Yeah.
So you leave 5 to 20% of the customers essentially undersatisfied versus what they would have purchased.
Yeah.
More importantly, from a profit standpoint, okay, is again, the premium versions tend to have higher profit
Absolutely.
than the core version.
Absolutely.
Okay? The leather-bound version of the book versus the hardbound version of the book may sell for 5 times as much and cost 50 cents more. This is where you get your big contribution to profit.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple years ago at Super Conference, I had a product called the Ultimate Marketing Machine, which we still have, which is one of our highest rated products. And I was in charge of selling this thing. And so the goal for the sales was outrageous in relation to the amount of people who were actually at the event. So I'm trying to figure out how can we do this? How can we do this? So what we did, I think we had a basic version, which was like $2,500, something like that. And then we had a deluxe version, which was $10,000. And my theory was, well, if I can get 10 people to take the 10,000, which is almost exactly what happened. We had 10 people or 8 people, whatever, take that $10,000 package, which was really the profit margin on that was huge. All right, but they wanted it as well, which again kind of ties in with marketing to the affluent, because what this premium package was us doing more work hands-on with them in a smaller setting. All of this ties beautifully together.
Well, the other way it ties to marketing to fluency is because some percentage of the people who buy the premium tier of an offer do it more because of who they are.
And it's a premium tier.
Than for any other reason.
Right.
That's their self-image. I'm a guy who gets the best.
Right.
And so whatever the best tier of this is, whatever the version of this is.
Right.
And in many businesses, marketers are led to it because people ask for it even when it isn't offered.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, how much will it be for you to do it for me?
Yeah.
Right. That's one we get a lot, right?
Or can I get a better version of this?
Right.
How much, so I get the question all the time. I don't sell it, but I could. So I get the question all the time. Okay, I get it. I can't pick up the phone and call you, right? I got to wait 3 weeks and I got to make an appointment. How much more would I have to pay to be able to pick up the phone and call you? Right. The answer is there is no number, right? But if I wanted to,
you could have that premium version.
Boom, tomorrow.
Oh, for sure. Right.
Tomorrow.
Right.
Right. In the old days of the Playboy clubs, your member card was called a key. They started with one level for everybody. And people started to ask, right? So everybody's got a silver key, and they outsell capacity of everything, right? So you call up to get a dinner reservation, we're full. You call up to go to the show, we're full. So people started to ask them, can I give you more money to fix this?
Right.
Okay? And they created the gold key, which they only sold a limited number of them per club. And the main 2 perks were you were never turned down for a dining reservation, which means they had to reserve a certain number a day, right? And you were never turned down for a seat at a show, right? As I recall, a silver key was $99 a year, and a gold key was $999 a year.
Wow. So what if they have to reserve the table?
So what?
Right,
Right?
exactly.
So what?
Right. Wow, that's just, so what you need to be thinking about is, well, how can I add a premium version? Like one of the things that you just said, which is really important, what are my customers or clients or patients asking for? What are they already asking for? It's so funny that you were talking about, we're talking about the dinner I had last night. They had a 6-course or they had the 11 course. Well,
Yeah.
right, I obviously took the 11 course. So far though, you've learned the first 9 growth hacks. And in the
sure
next,
it's 9?
I'm positive now. I am positive.
9?
I'm 9.
Okay.
I'm 9. Because there's 12. We're doing 4 segments.
Okay.
We got 3 more to go. Okay? In the next session, we'll be covering the final 3, which include raising your prices, precise targeting, and something I like to call touch me, baby.